Hi students, it's Dr. Z. I'm back again, and we're going to continue our discussion of weathering and erosion. Remember, we said weathering was breaking down big things into little things due to water and wind, and then erosion was the movement of things like soil and rocks, and that again is also can be caused by water and wind. For example, I have an example here of a rock that I found in Mexico when Mrs. Z and I were vacationing, and you can see, you may be able to see how it's very smooth. Okay, there are beautiful smooth areas on this rock. And actually I found this from a very large, big rock formation, and all of that area was smoothed out. And that's all from water and the wind. Over time, the water and the wind will work into the rock and make it nice and smooth. So it's a beautiful example of how erosion can work on rocks. Here's another piece I picked up at the ocean in Mexico. Again, it's so smooth, and that's due to the wind and the ocean water, and also the sand. The sand can work to smooth these rocks out. Okay, so I'm going to do a little experiment showing how the erosion of the ocean can be a real problem. And let me move my camera down here a little bit. And what I tried to do here is make my own little ocean scene. I took you can do this at home. I took an aluminum baking pan or sheet, and I put got some sand at the store and built up a little beach here, okay? And here's my ocean. You can see the water in there, right? And on top here, I just have some little horses that are enjoying walking this morning on the beach, right? Okay, so everything's fine except what happens when you get some big waves. And you know, we always have waves going on the ocean. And I'm going to take a pop can, and I'm going to use that to be my wave machine. And I'm just going to start making waves in my ocean. And those waves are going to, oh, I lost a horse, are going to start working on the sand. And as you can see, my beautiful beach is disappearing. I've already lost two horses. Guess what? The third one looks like he's going to stand up there, but you know why? I don't know if you can see this, but there's a big piece of rock right there that this horse is sitting on, and you couldn't even see that rock before I started the wave motion, but you will often see on a beach that when there's a big storm and a lot of waves come up, it will wash a lot of the sand back out into the ocean and will uncover rocks that are buried in the sand. So, you know, everybody loves to be on the beach, and they love to walk on the beach or build their homes on the beach, but it can be a real problem because of erosion. The working of the water, the waves of the ocean can start bringing that sand back down into the ocean, and where you had a beautiful beach a little while ago, that beach may disappear. So erosion of shorelines is a big problem, and engineers have worked for many years to find ways to make sure that the waves don't come in and destroy the beautiful beaches that we have. Okay, so that's an example of how erosion can definitely be a big problem. Here's one last example. I told you that Mrs. Z and I like to go to Mexico, and we often will be walking on the beach there. And there's something I love to do when I'm walking on the beach. I watch out for something called sea glass. You may have heard of that. And this is what sea glass looks like. Oops, let me bring the camera down again here so you can see this. These are this is example of sea glass, okay? These beautiful color, usually they're green. Here's a pretty kind of bluish white one. You'll often see a lot of brown ones, a lot of brown pieces. And I've actually used some pieces of sea glass, like this one, to make little necklaces for my granddaughters. Does anybody have an idea where sea glass comes from? Well, I'm going to tell you. It actually comes from broken bottles. Can you believe that? People throw empty bottles into the ocean. That's not a good idea, but they do it, unfortunately. And what happens is, over time, those bottles will break and break up into small pieces, and then the action of the sand and the water and the waves will start smoothing out what initially are very sharp pieces of glass. They'll eventually smooth them out into nice smooth pieces, and eventually those pieces of glass will find their way back up onto the actual beach. And when you walk out in the morning, sometimes after the waves have been working during the day, you'll find pieces of these beautiful pieces of sand glass or beach glass. And I wish I were there with you, because I would let you have one of these. But maybe sometime in the future, we'll be all back in school again, and I'll be able to let you have a sample of one of my pieces of sea glass that I've collected over time. Okay, guys, so we've done a lot of interesting experiments here. We've seen how weathering and erosion can really change the way the Earth looks, and has changed the way the Earth looks over thousands and thousands of years. And even today, we have to be worried about erosion. Imagine your playground. When you go out there and playing out there in the grass, you just assume it's going to be nice, and you don't have to worry about getting your shoes all dirty. If we didn't have the grass down and there was rain, your playground would be a big muddy mess, and you wouldn't want that. So by planting grass around your playgrounds, that provides you with a place where you can play and have a good time. Okay, I hope you've learned a few things about weathering and erosion, guys, and I'm sure your teachers are going to be talking to you more about it. And hopefully I'll come and be with you again soon, and we'll do another interesting experiment in science. And in the meantime, keep studying your science. Goodbye, guys.